Hi, and thanks for logging on to the Daily Dvar. And here's a brand new Halacha for you, and it's for Sunday, 29th day of July. Just want to tell you about a special day that's coming up on Monday. That's the 15th of Av. On the 15th of Av, it's a very fascinating date. Halachically, the main difference that will happen for you is that we won't say Tachanun on that day. But there's all kinds of different explanations as to what went on exactly on the 15th of Av. I'll tell you some of them. Number one, when the Jews were in the desert, the first of the sad things that happened on the 9th of Av was that's when the spies came back with a bad report on the land of Israel, and God decreed that they would all die in the desert. So every year in the desert, they dug graves, lied down in them, and they waited to die. And each year, about 15,000 of the 600,000 men died on the 9th of Av every year when they were in the desert. On the final year, when there were about 15,000 more to die, and they lied down in their graves on the 9th of Av, they woke up the next morning alive. And they figured, oh, it must be the wrong day. So they went back into their graves on the 10th, and on the 11th, and the 12th, and the 13th, and the 14th. Until finally on the 15th of Av, they looked up at the sky from their makeshift graves and saw the full moon and realized, well, it's the 15th of Av. It looks like we are not going to die. And that year they celebrated those 15,000 people, and that was on the 15th of Av. That's one of the festive things that happened. Another one is really fascinating because it doesn't even sound festive, but it went like this. On the 9th of Av, also the city of Beitar was massacred, and for years the destroyer had all the bodies piled up and wouldn't allow them to be buried. He actually piled them up around his own garden, saying that he enjoyed seeing them. Must have been a very unusual man, and he wouldn't let them be buried. Finally, years later, on the 15th of Av, he allowed them to be buried. That was a great happiness. And also, there was an incredible miracle that none of the bodies had decomposed. And that, too, happened on the 15th of Av. Interesting for you to note, the rabbis actually decreed from then on that we would have a fourth bracha added to our benching, and that's the bracha of Hatov v'Hametiv, the fourth bracha in benching, based on the incredible story of what happened to the bodies of Beitar on the 15th of Av. Thanks for logging on. Log on again for more tomorrow. Bye-bye.